guys, welcome back to my channel. I pray you are blessed and that everyone around you is blessed as well. It is yet another book haul. Who am I? Anyways, I did go to the free bookstore today again just to see if I could find some books for my classroom. As you know, I am infant lead teacher at a daycare. I didn't find any infant books, okay? I didn't find any books for my class that the kids would not chew up, okay? So I did look for myself and I got a couple things. So let's get started so you can see what I got. Okay, don't judge, okay? Don't judge. But yes, I got more books. The ones that I did last week are still there. They're still on the floor because I have no space. As you can tell, look at this. Look at that. Like, there's no space on my shelf. So I'm going to have to get another shelf, and I'm going to convince my family to get me another bookshelf for my birthday, which is coming up in November. So yeah. Oh, also, I also did not just go to the free bookstore today. I went back to the used bookstore to exchange that book that I already had. So I go in there and I was like, okay, I was in here 2 weeks ago, bought this book because I need all the Kristen Hanna books and I already had it on my shelf. And she's like, I've done that. She was like, no problem. You can find another one. We can do an even exchange or we'll just give you your money back. I love that bookstore, by the way. So I got some, like a couple books from the free bookstore for my grandchildren, but I'm not going to show those. They're just like little mini books, and I'm probably going to save for like their Christmas stocking or something. I don't know. But I did get, let's see, these right here for me. There's one that I've had on my Amazon wish list for a long time, and I found it there for free. So, and then at the used bookstore, I did do an even exchange, but I also got a couple books too, and some for my grandkids that I'm going to save for Christmas. So if you guys don't do that, like, you don't have to buy new books for Christmas gifts, especially for kids, because they're just gonna mess them up. So just a tip. Let's start with the free bookstore. So I did end up getting a cookbook. It's like a diabetes cookbook. I am diabetic type 2, and see if I'm gonna just check it out, see if there's any good recipes. And then I got like a book, it's a Bible dictionary for my husband. And then I grabbed this New Oxford Annotated Bible that my husband said to get, but I seen that they had the old looking one, which I love, because you can't see it, but on the top of this shelf I have a lot of my old books, and they're more like for decoration, so I thought that would be pretty cool to put up there. And then let's start with the ones that I got for myself, starting with a kid book because I couldn't leave it. And it is Beauty and the Beast, and this is like a very thin little thing. I just thought it would be cute just to save for my granddaughters, and it's from the actual like real life Beauty and the Beast, which I liked. Yeah, so I'm gonna save that. I did find a Harlan Coben book called Runaway, and I have seen this in a few like bookstograms and TikToks. So this one says, a perfect family is shattered in this propulsive thriller from the master of domestic suspense. You've lost your daughter. She's addicted to drugs and to an abusive boyfriend, and she's made it clear that she doesn't want to be found. Then by chance, you see her playing guitar in Central Park, but she's not the girl you remember. This woman is living on the edge, frightened and clearly in trouble. You don't stop to think. You approach her, beg her to come home. She runs. And you do the only thing a parent can do. You follow her into a dark and dangerous world you never knew existed. Before you know it, both your family and your life are on the line. And in order to protect your daughter from the evils of that world, you must face them head on. That sounds good. I've never read a Harlan Coben book. I do have, I will find you. Yeah, I will find you, which also sounds really good. So this was free. It has like an Ollie sticker on it that looks pretty old. I'm gonna try and take it off, but this is like in new condition. And then I seen this one, I want to say at Barnes and Noble, but I'm not 100% sure. But I remember reading the synopsis of this, and it's Sandra Brown's Overkill. And I see her books all the time. It says former Super Bowl MVP quarterback Zach Bridger hasn't seen his ex-wife Rebecca Pratt for some time, not since their volatile marriage imploded. So he's shocked when he learns that Rebecca has been placed on life support after a violent assault, and he, despite their divorce, has medical power of attorney. Zach is asked to make an impossible choice: keep Rebecca on life support or take her off of it. Buckling under the weight of the responsibility, Zach ultimately walks away, letting Rebecca's parents have the final say. 4 years later, Rebecca's attacker, Eben, the scion of a wealthy family in Atlanta, gets an early release from prison. The ludicrous miscarriage of justice reeks of favoritism, and Kate Lennon, a brilliant state prosecutor, is determined to put him back behind bars. Rebecca's parents have kept her alive all these years, but if her condition were to change, if she were to die, Eben would be retried on a new charge, murder. It isn't lost on Zach that in order for Eben to be charged with Rebecca's murder, Zach must be the one to kill her. Wow. He rejects Kate's legal standpoint, but can't resist their ill-timed attraction to each other. Eben, having realized the jeopardy he's in, plots to make certain that neither Zach nor Kate lives to see the death of Rebecca and the end of his freedom. Yep, that sounds good. Okay, and then I found this one. It's called Pray for Silence by Linda Castillo. This one looks really good too. It's an Amish country thriller, and it's pretty much talking about like this family moves from Pennsylvania to like a small town in Ohio. And then 1 year later, all 7 of the family members are found dead on their farm. What I like is the police chief is a woman, which is kind of cool. I've been getting a lot of like women, like police officers or women investigators in the books that I've been getting, so that's pretty cool. It says Police Chief Kate Burkholder and her small force have few clues, no motive, and no suspect. That's all I'm gonna say. But it sounds really good, so we'll see. And then I got this one. This is like my first, not my first, because I might have some more on my shelf, but it's a Christian fiction, and it's called The Year of Jubilee by Cindy Morgan. And Amy Grant, if you guys know, she's a Christian singer from like back in the day. She blurbed it and says, an intimate and fascinating portrayal of the times, a story told with empathy and compassion. And so this one is about this family that lives in this little town in Kentucky. And they're just like going through some things. One of the youngest kids gets like really sick, and then the middle kid is determined to like figure out what to do because the mom and the dad are like in the hospital all the time, and she just has a tough time. So this sounds really, really good. And now the book that I've had on my wish list for, I want to say a good maybe year or so, is The Silent Woods by Kimmy Cunningham Grant. And yeah, I was like shocked. I did a double take when I seen like the bind, and I was like getting it. But this says, for 8 years, Cooper and his young daughter Finch have lived in isolation in a remote cabin in the northern Appalachian woods, and that's exactly the way Cooper wants it because he's got a lot to hide. Finch has been raised on the books filling. Finch has been raised on the books, filling the cabin's shelves in the beautiful but brutal code of life in the wilderness. But she started to push back against the sheltered life Cooper has created for her, and he's still haunted by the painful truth of what is to take, or what it took to get them there. Tina, if you don't learn how to read today, says the only people who know they exist are a mysterious local hermit and Cooper's older friend Jake, who visits each winter to bring them supplies. But this year Jake doesn't show up, revealing just how precarious their situation really is. And when a stranger wanders into their woods, Finch's growing obsession with her could put them all in danger after a shocking disappearance threatens to upend the only life Finch has ever known. Cooper must decide whether to keep hiding or finally face the sins of his past. Vividly atmospheric and masterfully tense, The Silent Woods is a poignant story of survival, sacrifice, and how far a father will go when faced with losing it all. I seen this, I believe, on Book Talk sometime I want to say it was last year, but it could have been this year, I don't know. But I was like, add to Amazon wish list, but I found it for free. Now, what I got at the used bookstore, I was like, okay. So I did exchange that book, which was The Great Alone, Kristen Hanna. I already had it. So I wanted to get another Kristen Hanna book, and they had the women last time I went, but they didn't have it this time. So I'm gonna have to keep that on my wish list. But I did get True Colors by Kristen Hanna, and this one, I seen someone talking about it on BookTube, I think, here on YouTube. And it's about, it's like a sister story. And this is so fitting because next weekend I get to spend a couple hours or so with my two sisters that I don't normally hang out with. My younger sister just moved from Arizona back to her hometown, and then my other sister lives like an hour or so away, and she has a busy life with two small kids, so we don't get to see each other. So we finally got a date set, and we're gonna have lunch. So wish us luck. But I definitely wanted to read this because it does have to deal with sisters, and like just they're like going through a lot. That's from the person, I don't remember who it was that was reading this. I'm gonna have to find it. But yeah, it is used, so there's like some writing up here, but I don't care. And what I love about that used bookstore, it's also a consignment store, so you can take your books and they'll sell them for you, and if you sell them, you get credit. So I may do that eventually. I don't know. So that was like an even exchange. And then I've had this book on my Kindle. Not sure if it's part of KU, but I've had it on there for a while, and I finally found a physical copy. And this one was, I believe it was $6.49 or $6.45 or $4.45, one of the two. But it's The Family Across the Street by Nicole Trope, and this one has to do with like this weird family that moves into town, and they don't want nothing to do with nobody, and they have a bunch of secrets. And I'm excited that I found this because I've had it on my Kindle for a while. Even the cashier lady that was working at that store, I love her to death. She said, I've heard this was so good. And I was like, I know, I've had it on Kindle for a long time. I just haven't read it. She was like, physical books are better. I was like, I agree. But on your Kindle, you read it quicker for some reason. The Kindle magic, I don't know. And then the last book that I got at the used bookstore, as soon as I seen this too, I grabbed it, and it was also $6.95. It's The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett, and I've heard so many great things about this book, and I cannot wait to get into it. I know, I believe Shaughnessy just talked about it, and there's been a few other like YouTubers and booktubers and book talkers, all those book people have been talking about this one and said it's really good. So I can't wait to get into it. It is, I believe, a historical fiction. I know it's about two sisters that like live separate lives, two like twins. Is it twins? It says always been identical, so I'm guessing twins. Yeah, duh, it says right there, that's the first word. Tina Reed. Okay. Twins inseparable as children ultimately choose to live in two different worlds, one black and one white. So gonna get into that hopefully soon. You know, when I say that about every book that I get, but as you can tell, I have so many books that I have not got to. So Tina, quit buying books. What I want to do though is try a book buying ban until my birthday. It's so hard, especially knowing there's a free bookstore. Like, is it girl math if it's free and I'm not breaking the ban? Let me know in the comments, what do you think? If I go to the free bookstore and that's it and not buy books, is it still a book buying ban? Good question. Anyways, okay, last time I was talking to you guys, I was reading Tender as the Flesh. Where is it? I know I just brought, oh. If you have not read this book, go and read it. This is the perfect book for October. It is like really weird, and you feel gross reading it, but you have to read it. It's like, I'm telling you, it's like a car crash. It's like a car crash and you can't look away, but you have to look, you know, like, it's not a 5-star because I don't know. I don't even know what to rate this because this is like, I want to say it, I believe it's horror. Is it horror? I want to say it is, but I am telling you, read this book. Like, read it and tell me what you think. Or if you have read it before, let me know in the comments what you thought. Did you feel like extremely weird reading it, but you had to finish it? The end was a little like, that's probably why I'm not giving it a 5, because I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But it was definitely creepy and weird, but I liked it. So check this out. I did get this at the used bookstore. They do have like a section for new books. Speaking of that, they had The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. They had the Cinnamon Roll Bookstore or whatever says cinnamon, but I don't know. Those one books that everyone's talking about right now. And they had the 2 that are out. And then they had like the special edition copies of the Beach Read, like the really pretty covers, but I didn't get that. It was a good Beach Read by her name is leaving my mind, Emily Henry. That was a good book, but not like to where I would want to buy the special edition. Like, I already have the book that I read. Anyways, so they have new books there, and they're like decently priced. They're not like the same price as regular bookstores, like if you went to like Barnes and Noble, but they're probably a little bit more expensive than if you were to wait for like the Target sales or if you go to Walmart or something. But anyways, just to support them, that like I bought this one off that newer shelf. And it was, I believe, $16, $17.99 in the back. So not a big difference, but just to support them. Anyways, I'm talking too much. Tina, stop talking. Okay. I think I'm going to do that band. Now that we're going back to that subject, I think I'm going to do the book buying band. Book buying. I'm not buying it if it's free. So if I go back to the free bookstore, girl math, don't judge me. Don't do it. And then, so I do have my bookish wish list in the description all the time. If you do get me a book, I will definitely shout you out, because who doesn't like book mail? And I've only gotten a few, like when I first started my channel or my Bookstagram, and I am still loving those books. I am so appreciative. I save every little, you know, paper. I write down the book that was given to me, and so that I remember which book that person gave me, and I just love it. But anyways, I keep rambling, talking about nothing, and I'm sure you all got stuff to do on a Sunday afternoon. So with that being said, I pray that you are blessed this week. Remember that you are always favored, highly favored, and you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Talk to you later. Bye.